Three major factors affecting the quality of shockproof pads. And you know what? Hello, everyone. I'm Favreau Cheng. When buying floor glue, first find Lao Zhang to avoid the pit. What about the shock mat in the gym? It is a product that we must apply in the process of opening a gym, but in the process of buying dust bags, you're going to run into a lot of problems. We have smell, dropped slag, different sizes, not easy to take care of, etc. We need to know the three major factors that affect the quality of dust bags. We must first understand the production process of dust bags. The production process of dust bags is actually very simple. The main thing is to mix the glue and particles evenly. It is pressed at high temperature and high pressure in a high temperature flat voltage. Therefore, the three major factors affecting the quality of dust pads are the first, equipment. Second, raw material. Third, mold. Among the factors affecting the equipment, it is mainly the three elements of vulcanization of rubber products. The first is the pressure of vulcanization. The second is the vulcanization temperature. The third is the vulcanization time. In terms of raw materials, it is mainly a shock pad, and the raw materials are divided into three categories. First, because the shock pad is a composite product, it has a facade. The second is the particles. There are many kinds of particles. It's wired. It has steel, tires. There are others that we will introduce one by one later. The third is glue. Glue is mainly divided into two categories. The first is the glue of the second is TMI's glue. Everyone just needs to remember that TMI's glue is smelly and toxic. Let's take a look at our table below. So what happens when you look at this chart? We see three major factors that affect the quality of golden eggs. The first is equipment. The second is raw materials. The third is the mold. We also listed the top 10 pits. The first is the odor. The second is slag. The third is that the size varies. Fourth, it is low density, loose. The fifth is not easy to take care of. The sixth is the poor effect of shock prevention and noise reduction. The seventh is that the surface layer is uneven. It's bumpy. The eighth is easy to break. And the ninth is yellowing and warped edges. The 10th is insufficient thickness. We will pick up the heavy ones and tell you about them because time is indeed limited. If there is anything else we want to see, you can private message me. We can send you the form. Okay? That's the first big item. The first item is odor. The main reason for the odor is from two aspects. The first is the particles inside the raw material. The second is the glue inside the raw materials. Because of the shockproof pads we use in many factories now. And this particle is jagged. One is the particles of the 16 grinding wire tire. The second is 2 to 3 millimeters of steel wire tire particles. He will have a severe rubbery smell because he didn't perform this. It tastes bigger. Third, this flour grain of sole scraps. The fourth is the recycling of waste rubber runway wire skins. Recycled runways. It still smells like runways. The smell of granules, because in the process of making the runway, it will also mix glue. It has glues that are not used well and will continue to be useful. This chemical smell, even wires, leather seals or something will smell of rubber. But some friends said, what about this rubber floor mat I bought? It doesn't smell like rubber. It could be this particularly pungent chemical smell. Okay, so what could it be? It's the smell of glue. Because most of our factories now use this kind of flour granules or pomegranate membrane granules. In fact, it doesn't taste big. It's not big. Our glue is mainly divided into two. The first is MDI glue. The second is TD glue. In fact, everyone just needs to remember that TDI glue is toxic and smelly. Okay, let's finish the first item. Let's move on to the second item. There will be many influencing factors for dropping slag and dropping slag. Mainly, it is the following aspects. The first is that the pressure of the vulcanization equipment is too low. If the pressure is small, he will easily drop slag. The second is the vulcanization temperature. If the vulcanization temperature is higher, if it is too high, it will easily fall off. They're like pancakes. You burned this pie. He is prone to scum. The third is that the vulcanization time is short because the longer the vulcanization time, the higher the cost. So the vulcanization time is short, and there will be a corresponding cost reduction. So it also causes slag. And the fourth is raw materials. Well, some of his pellets are not very good. The scraps or the particles are too large. Secondhand waste materials, the runway will be affected.
Cause this particle to drop slag. Fifth, glue. If the mixing ratio of glue is less than or equal to 5%, then he will instantly cause this kind of slag drop.
Take a look at the third item. It's just different sizes. There are several reasons for the large tolerance. Low equipment pressure can cause this situation. Well, if the particles are too large, or the recycling runway use can also cause this situation. Okay? Number 4, we say low density or loose. The equipment pressure is too low, it will cause the product to be loose. In fact, 90% of the devices on the market use this device. These are first generation devices. What about the first generation of equipment? Most of the nuclear membrane pressure is below 8 trillion ppm, and our current second generation equipment, including equipment from our own factory, pressure can reach more than 14 trillion ppm. Low density, loose. The second reason is that the vulcanization time is too short, because vulcanization time is its cost. The shorter the vulcanization time, it can lead to this kind of looseness. The third is that the particles are too large, resulting in low product density. What about the beveled scraps? It will also produce this low density. Okay, at this point, you may think we are talking to professionally. We may not understand a little bit, right? So now we're going to do 3 things. How simple and easy it is to choose a dust pad. First, the price can't be too low. Why did Lao Zhang say that? Because in this market, you get what you pay for as an eternal truth. If the price is too low, he will cut corners on the raw materials and craftsmanship of the product. We recommend a minimum of 20 millimeter shock pad. Its price is above 100 yuan. The 25 millimeter shock pad is more than 115 yuan. A 30 millimeter shockproof pad costs more than 130 yuan. The second point is that the taste should not be too big. If you buy a shock pad for whatever reason, it tastes too big. It's all a substandard product. Because it tastes too big, it will cause your business to suffer a lot. The difficulty is to replace the shock pad. At worst, we can cause a lot of damage to the body. The third is that the density of the product is higher. After we get the sample, we can fold it in half, right? How about its weight density? If the density is okay, this product is not an exceptional product. Speaking of which, there must be some friends who ask Lao Zhang, you said so much. Any recommendations? Of course, there is. We, as ground experts for a decade, definitely recommend it. Today, I mainly want to tell you about a Besger model of our rubber tail. This product adopts an exclusive formula. Its base material is neither flour pellets nor rubber pellets. Our exclusive formula guarantees that it has no taste at all. You can smell it. Under the condition of guaranteeing that there is no taste at all, the hardness of our products can also reach 80 degrees of shortage during the process of your guaranteed use. There won't be any process that feels particularly soft. This one is especially suitable for household use. Fitness studios and some enterprises and institutions. The second one on the air is the Pro model of rubber tail of our rubber shockproof floor mat. Our Pro model uses 16 mesh modern granules. The taste is also extremely small. For the front, we use a 40 mesh high density surface layer, under the condition that the hardness of the product is guaranteed to be 80 degrees. We also developed its unique back and bottom shape, ensures sound absorption and shock absorption effect. Having said so much, I'm sure you also know a lot about shock pads. We hope you can buy better products when you buy shock pads. If you want me to say something about the product next time, you can also at me